There's more breaking news tonight about other members of the Trump campaign who also met with the Russian ambassador to the United States. Let's bring in our senior White House correspondent, Jim Acosta. Jim, you just spoke to one of those advisors. What are you learning?
Right. That's right, Wolf. I just got off the phone with J.D. Gordon, who served as a national security advisor to the Trump campaign before the election. He's no longer with Donald Trump or the administration at this point. But he does tell me, Wolf, that over the summer at the Republican convention in Cleveland, that he did have a conversation with the Russian ambassador as well as other national security advisors for President, then candidate Trump at the time, Carter Page and Walid Phares. They all met at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland for a gathering there. And then J.D. Gordon says he met again with the ambassador at a cocktail reception later on that evening in Cleveland. All of this going on during the Republican convention. And then Gordon says that he was a part of the effort that was pushed by the Trump campaign to put some language in the GOP platform that essentially said that the Republican Party did not advocate for arming the Ukrainians in their battle against those pro-Russian separatists. Of course, that was a big issue that was flaring up at the time of the Republican convention. That effort was ultimately successful. They were successful in having that language in the Republican Party platform. And I asked J.D. Gordon, well, why is that? Why did you go ahead and advocate for that language? And he said that this is the language that Donald Trump himself wanted and advocated for back in March at a meeting at the Unfinished Trump Hotel here in Washington, D.C. J.D. Gordon says then candidate Trump said he did not want to, quote, go to World War III over Ukraine. And so J.D. Gordon says at the Republican convention in Cleveland, he advocated for language in that Republican Party platform that reflected then candidate Trump's comments. And I can tell you, Wolf, going on about this, I asked J.D. Gordon, were there any conversations with the Russian ambassador that he would view as inappropriate? Was there any chatter about quid pro quo, colluding with the Russians to help the Trump campaign? J.D. Gordon says, absolutely not. That would have been inappropriate. He said that his comments to the Russian ambassador were essentially what he was saying publicly on panels and in TV interviews, that the U.S. and Russia should have a better relationship. And Wolf, I can tell you this, that the White House is aware of J.D. Gordon's comments. We should report that they were first reported in the USA Today newspaper. But J.D. Gordon did tell me that he had a conversation with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the principal deputy press secretary over here at the White House, to brief her on his conversations with the Russian ambassador and that other national security advisors to the candidate at the time, that did occur over the summer.